please.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the meeting to order. First thing on the agenda is public speaking.
I had made a request last meeting for a copy of the inventory.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did, and I'll just be honest with you, it was completely my fault. I had family, and I just forgot about it until I went to do the minutes and typed them up, and I saw that your request was in the minutes.
Alright, did you guys happen to do a little research on that request to pique your interest, see what your responsibility was? Because it didn't really sound like you guys had an inventory that you had conducted.
We have the one for our insurance that where we have everything insured.
Alright, well I went ahead and printed it out for her to share with you guys.
It says section 505.04 annual inventory, the Ohio Revised Code, Title 5 Township, Charter 505 Trustees. This is effective March 22nd, 2019. The latest legislation, House Bill 500 through 132nd General Assembly. It says the Board of Trustees shall make an inventory on the second Monday of January each year of all materials, machinery, tools, and other township supplies in its possession. The inventory shall be public record, and one copy shall be filed with the fiscal officer of the township. Available versions of this, it is just the dates. One was in 2005, and the other one was March 22nd, 2019.
That's a tool for you guys to make sure that there's no fraud, waste, and abuse of taxpayer money. It would be nice to see what we actually have on the books to make sure that there's no chainsaws, lawnmowers walking away. Yeah, well, so do I, but I would think that you would be in a position to know. I mean, you're running out of time.
What we have, yeah.
You got 2 meetings. You got this one and the one in December to come up with a plan for you to do that inventory. I find it shocking that you've never conducted an inventory. You work for the government. It's kind of a standard thing. But you got 2 meetings to work it out. I would suggest that you start with some housekeeping and some organization, because it looks pretty crummy around here, to be honest with you. I don't know how you would know what you have in order to inventory it. And I would also, what happened to the vehicle that you were given from ODNR? What'd you guys do with that free one?
It is sitting at a mechanic's yard.
Is it
awaiting repair.
okay? You guys never really discussed it, so.
Excuse me, aren't you required to have an inventory when you have your audit? Doesn't your auditor require an inventory?
No, I've never been asked for.
Really?
Sir,
That's
I have
unusual.
never been asked for an inventory.
That's unusual, since it's, it's part of your assets, it's part of your
I've never been asked for that.
I would find that curious that the auditor doesn't require that.
Do you guys have a system in place that you're etching your tools, that you're marking your equipment, that if it shows up in a pawn shop, you can actually identify it?
We have the ones that have serial numbers.
Alright.
If we got robbed, 3 times?
We've been broken in 3 times.
Yeah. So.
And then I know that you had a catalytic converter stolen. You guys didn't really go into much detail on what happened to the catalytic converter.
Well, they just broke in and sold it off and took off.
So you guys filed an insurance claim for that to get it repaired?
We didn't file an insurance claim, but we did call the sheriff's department to investigate it.
So you're just not going to replace it? You're going to...
We took it up and had, they repaired the exhaust pipe on it up to,
Muffler man.
So you guys already had the repair done on it?
Yeah.
And you guys didn't discuss it at a meeting?
Well, we had to fix it, so we had to have it to pull the lawnmower material with.
Alright. So you paid for that out of our funds? That wasn't an insurance claim. So you spent money to get that repaired without Okay. Fair enough. I'll pass to somebody else. I'm finished.
On the same subject, I guess, this road is yours, correct?
The driveway out?
Yeah, the road, why not just put a gate all the way out the other end?
Well,
Your crackhead's not gonna walk this far back.
we thought about that, and then sometimes when we're on 410, we have stone delivered on Fridays. They can bring it in on Fridays and there's nobody here. Sometimes on Fridays, so we talked about putting one down here, and we did talk about that.
Well, it's an actual township road and you can't
Yeah.
close off an actual township road.
That's not true.
That's not a township road.
I
Yes,
believe
it
you,
is.
That's a private lane, isn't it?
I
No,
believe
it's
you
not.
own that property.
You don't know what you're talking about, it's not, it's not. Many years ago, it was made into a township road. The neighbors up here, the Browns, use it for access to their property. You'd be denying them one of their driveways, so. But it is a township road that's on the books.
You still have to close them off.
You'd have to take that up to the prosecutor's office.
You guys, you don't have the authority to make a decision like that? You wanna pass everything to the prosecutor's office? I do have a question. You asked to have the minutes changed over my fence. Recall having it changed to post instead of removal of the fence? You don't remember doing
Yeah.
that?
It's post, supposed to fence.
Well, that is incorrect. The fence was done. It was a fence. And even if it was just post, you can't ask her to change the minutes of the meeting to reflect a vote from the prior month to make it fit your need. If you thought the vote was a bad vote, then you should have said, I think we need to re-vote on that. Because it's just post, it's not fence. You're manipulating the minutes of the meetings to suit your need.
What did it say? Remove of the fence or remove of the post?
Originally, you two voted to remove the fence, if I didn't remove it myself. He wasn't here that month. He came back the following month and said, oh, I want you to change the meetings to minutes, to posts. Well, that's not how it's supposed to work.
If there are adjustments or corrections to the minutes,
Corrections to the minutes, not changing of a vote. You changed the vote by having her alter the minutes from removal of offense to removal of posts.
that is your opinion.
Okay.
It just shows you hadn't been out there to even look at it.
Yeah, you did, it just
You didn't even look at
contributes
it.
to the
Well,
fact
may-
that you
may I
guys
ask now
never.
What type fence was it?
If you'd been out there, you would have
Yeah,
known.
if you'd have came and looked at it, you'd have
When
known.
I saw it, every time I saw it, it was bare post.
Yeah, I waited for 6 months for you guys to coordinate with me as to what you thought was proper, and you never said another word. You passed it off to the assistant prosecuting attorney, which he did it wrong, you did it wrong. If it happens again, you will do it right. Because odds are there's going to be a fence back up. And here is the OWPC for emergency funds. You don't need to read that. I'm sure you're aware of it, but their cutoff is in August. And you have to register you have to register and do it online to fill out the application. It gives you the option of a loan rather than getting a grant from them. I think the way they score it, I think you would be better off to apply for a loan to fix Young Road rather than
attempt to get a grant. But you do have to keep checking their website to see the dates that they open up to start accepting applications again. And I think that would qualify for emergency funds, but you would have to clarify with them.
What's this through?
So it's
Ohio Public
agency.
Works. That's where we applied to.
I understand that.
What he's saying is,
They've changed their procedure. You have to register in order, in the future, to file again.
You guys are gonna have to be proactive here if you wanna get some money.
You're gonna have to go out and actually look at their website and see the rules that they have to follow. You have to follow it. It's not her job to do it, it's you three's job to do it.
I'll check it out.
I hope you do.
Anything else?
Yes, sir.
thank you, gentlemen.
So, me, my turn?
Your turn.
Well, thank you, thank you. I have some good news. You all know what the American Rescue Plan is, correct? And if you read the messenger, well, I think last Thursday, you would have seen a nice, incomplete, but nice article about the governor releasing $93 million of $250 million that was given to the state of Ohio for water and sewer projects. That $93 million went to 54 different grantees in the state of Ohio. And guess who got one of them? Tupper Plains Water District for the extension of the water system for Rhodahaver and Young Road.
That was something I was gonna bring up tonight, cause I got that all printed off right here in that package right
I
there, 60
understand.
pages of
I
it.
didn't know you had heard that, but I talked to them, and it's for, the $90,000 is for planning and engineering. You know, Derek Baum, the manager over there, said he anticipates making their first draw of the funds in December. Now, he doesn't know if it's gonna be an initial draw for them or a reimbursement of expenses from the state. But anyway, they're ready to go. He figures they'll be doing the planning stages here starting in December, and perhaps construction will start in the spring and maybe as early as March.
So my hopes is that we can give some of this money here to them to help pay, like for you guys' tax or whatever. Because it says to improve water system, so.
What are you talking about? The
It's
90,000?
art money.
The 90,000 that they have?
Yeah, well, yeah,
Well,
90 million.
Yeah, he didn't know exactly how much they were gonna need. That was kind of he figured that was an exaggerated amount that they asked for, because he doesn't think it would cost $90,000 to do the engineering. I mean, it's a water line, for God's sakes. It's just, we already have easements. All the easements have been signed off on. All they gotta do is, put the stakes out there and have and figure out what the cost of material will be. I
But
think, and labor.
if we could give them some of this money, then that would help.
You have control over some money? You said-
Well, we haven't got this money yet, this art money, but that's.
No, we don't have one yet.
Oh, that's what we were talking about last month.
Mm-hmm. I printed all this off, and it says you can use it for help improve water system, sewer system.
Well, I'm sure, it's been a long haul for people out there. They've been
Right.
trying to get water out there for years and years, and finally it's only been, Bob, you were in the initial meeting. We went over there and talked to them. That was, well, less time than Young Road's been closed, that's for sure. That's, yeah. Anyway, I want to pass that on to you. You obviously have more information on it than I have, but, if that money can be used for taps, I'm sure those people out there will appreciate it. I know I would, because I'm about a quarter mile off the road, and I got a long haul to get it back to my house, but I've been waiting a long time for it. We'll do what it has to be done.
Like I say, if we could use it to help pay for the taps,
Well, the taps.
or something like that, you know.
Taps can be significant. I've heard that they may be about $500.
that right?
I don't believe that you would be able to use that money for tax, but they might be able to use it to put a hydrant.
Well, we're
Yeah.
talking about 3 hydrants along that road for
That's-
fire, for fire protection. Hopefully, Jim would know better. Would that lower our insurance rates, Jim, if we had fire hydrants out there rather than ponds?
A little bit, maybe?
A little bit.
Yep.
Well, a little bit would help.
Depends on what size line they run out through there.
Exactly.
2 inch, I think.
2 inch?
Wasn't that what they were talking about, Bob, 2 inch?
I don't remember what size they were talking about for
So
sure.
if they put a 2 inch in, you ain't gonna have no hydrants worth anything.
You have to have at least a 6 inch, somebody told me,
correct.
is that right?
Well, I thought we talked about, that 2 inch comes to mind, maybe that's, I'm mistaken, but that came to mind when we talked about it. We talked about 3 hydrants, you know, one at
Right,
the end,
right.
one at the beginning, and one in the middle somewhere.
Then they'll probably put another flush, what they call flush hydrant down there about your place, 'cause that's probably where the water line will end. They'll put a flush hydrant down there so they can flush the line in once in a while.
Well, that's good. Anyway, that's good news, and, maybe with, next fall we'll have water out there. I don't know how long it takes to construct that.
Hopefully before that.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you, gentlemen. You gave me a lot of information. It's been 530 days, Mr. Township Trustees, since, Young Road's been closed. I know that last meeting, Mr. Nutter talked about meeting with the county engineer and said he had another meeting scheduled with them. And I'd like to know how that came, what conclusions were drawn there.
I don't believe I had another meeting scheduled with him. I don't believe I said that.
Well, can
I've
you
not met with him
minutes?
since the last meeting.
Excuse me?
I've not met with him since the last
You
meeting.
were
I don't
supposed to.
recall saying I had
Chris, you were
another meeting.
supposed to. You were supposed
I
to.
will say this, Mr. Maiden has done everything humanly possible to get us money to fix Young Road with.
When has he done that?
When I went up, a couple weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, and picked up stuff on Park Road, I was talking to him. I had to go up and pick up paperwork for Park Road, where we had to slip over there, that FEMA finally gonna finance it. And I talked to him in, and he did everything possible.
Chris said he forgot about us.
So,
He completely slipped his mind, the biggest, the
And while I'm on
most
the
massive
subject-
slip in Athens County, he forgot it.
while I'm on the subject, I guess I made a statement last meeting that made some people angry. If I hurt anybody's feelings over that statement, I will apologize for it. So, I'm just gonna leave it at that.
What statement would that be, that you hurt someone's feelings?
I'm not gonna corroborate on it, I'm just gonna say, if I hurt anybody's feelings, I'm sorry.
How's that related to Maiden saying he forgot about the road? Is that,
That might have been, I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna elaborate on it, but I do know that Mr. Mason has really tried to get us funding for it. I mean, he's really tried. So,
where are we with it? Well, these gentlemen said that there are loans available now.
well, this, I don't know about the loans, we'll have to check it out, but that sounds like more or less just like about what we have been getting from, well, more or less, we have to pay 10% of everything.
They have to have a match, a local match.
Yeah. So,
Or you can just pay for all of it,
pardon?
or you can just pay for all of it. Public Works will give you a loan. The way their system works is it's by points. If you ask for a loan, you get more points than if you ask for a grant.
See, Donna's never said anything about no loans every time I've talked to her. Of course, she ain't in there now,
There are loans available through
but
here.
she always just talked about grants.
Well, I mean, that's all, you asked about
This
it
is the
too.
first I've heard about the loan.
Well, there have been loans available in the past.
You just gotta get out there and do some research. They're not gonna just fall into your lap.
Just visit their website. I've called them a couple times. They are very nice people.
sure, they've always been nice to me when I talk to them, but Donna's never, like I say, she's always talked about grant, like the 10% match. But she's never mentioned anything to me about the loans.
Well, the grant would require a 10% local match,
Yes,
but the loans don't. You just have to pay them back.
Yeah.
Then you can get, I'm sure, very favorable terms on a loan like that.
we'll have to check it out.
We sure would appreciate it. Like I said, it's been 530 days and winter's coming again.
We haven't forgot about it, 'cause I out there 3 times last week looking at it.
I
I had
feel like you
Ransom
have
out there.
forgotten about it. I feel like you have forgotten about it, and I'm not the only one that feels that way. All those people over on Young Road have just about given up on you guys.
Well, I don't
Even
know.
though Mr.
Give up.
Butter in the newspaper says he would go to all lengths to help the citizens of the township. And I just wonder what he's done for us lately, you know?
We will
I haven't heard a
continue-
word, you know, this last month was the first time I heard Chris say anything about that road.
Haven't had much to say about it. We've been trying to secure funding to fix it, looking into different ways, different methods to fix it.
But you haven't told us the efforts that you've tried. You haven't told us what you've done. You just say, we tried, but no one knows what you've done. I mean, I know of one application that was rejected that Ms. Buckley gave me over a year ago.
We'll have to get a hold of them and talk.
And I don't know that there's been any other, attempt to get any funding, whether it's loans or grants or anything. And there's not been any attempts, and deadlines come and deadlines go. There was one in September that was missed. The deadline in September that we missed. But anyway, the road is still closed and people are still angry and upset about it. And when trees go down across the road, we can't get out, or emergency vehicles can't get in, we're gonna have a problem. And that's happened in the past while. We've had trees down here since the road's been closed. And the power lines, we had 2 power lines down. You couldn't pass, couldn't cross them. A vehicle hit a pole, took a pole down, an electric pole down. The roads were closed then. But anyway, I've been here coming 18 months. Same old story. But another question we have out there on Mill Road is, when are you gonna chip and seal it? We see you did the patching of the chuck holes and the chip and seal.
Next year,
What?
next spring.
Really? What happened? I thought it was supposed to be done here this summer or fall.
Well, we just, we had to make break down there, then we ain't gonna get them all chipped and sealed this year. We're broke down right now. We got trucks sitting out on the Bethany Ridge, we can't get started. It just quit on us today. We gotta get it back to the shop, see if we can get it running. And it's just been one thing after another.
So, assuming that you may be around next summer, is that a promise that you're gonna get that out there on Young Road?
Next summer, I'm gonna chip and seal everything on my end over there. They chip and seal everything on their end this year, I'm gonna chip and seal everything on my end next year, if I'm still in here. So, that's up to tomorrow.
That's right, tomorrow's election day. No campaign promises, guys? Huh? Mr. Nutter, you got a
I don't
campaign
make promises.
for us? No campaign promises?
I don't make promises.
Don't get down that avenue.
The challenger's here. Willie, you got any campaign promises? Huh?
I learned a long time ago, you didn't make a promise.
Well, hey, that's politics for you. You're not a real politician if you don't make a promise. Thank you.
Anybody else?
What was the counter on Varner Road for?
Counting.
There was a counter out there across the road, right on Copeland's that, what is it, Log Tree Cemetery?
I don't know unless the state put it up there, cause they was down there Friday?
This was
No,
last,
this morning.
this was last week.
Oh, I don't know. I come out through there last week several times, I didn't see any
It was
cameras.
there. I seen it.
Don't know.
There'd been a dump truck running through the ditch, tore a culvert up down there below Charles Buck's place. dual-wheeled truck. Went down the ditch, probably for 100 feet, smashed the end of the culvert over, took the side out of the big walnut tree right there on my property. And I don't know where it went. You guys ain't been over through there to look at it or see it?
I haven't been over it for a couple, 3 or 4 days.
Well, it's there. There's just stuff scattered everywhere. The culvert is smashed. It's went in there to the point that looks like, the big front axle on the dump truck, drug her down, smashed the culvert. They really,
That plastic culvert?
steel. They really cleaned her out. And if it rains, it's gonna plug up and run.
Is that big one and that swell there by your barn?
Right before you get to the barn.
Really?
We'll
Yep.
have to look at that sometime.
I'd check
It's
that out.
already
out.
sinking, you know, it's got a dip in it where they've already smashed it down.
I was through there Friday and I didn't see any of that, did
What, you never seen the dip?
I?
You never noticed the
Friday.
dip when you go over it?
Friday morning.
Oh, it's there, it's been there,
I
I've
believe
been
you,
watching
I'm
it.
just saying I didn't see it.
Oh, they cleaned the culvert and everything off, whole end of it.
I'll check that out.
And, I was just wondering what the counter was for.
I don't know. I didn't even know it was up there.
I didn't know.
It was there.
Never
I
last
didn't know
week,
who
so
had
week
any idea
before, I
who
never
put it
saw
up
it.
there. Cause we never requested no counter on that road.
It's right before you cross the bridge, at the Lottery Cemetery.
Right there at Mike McPherson's. And where did this, and the culvert is between your house and your barn?
Yeah, right below Charles Buck's old house site.
Oh, okay.
Nobody's informed us they gonna put a counter on there.
And
Well,
we didn't, but
they sure did,
We had no access to a counter to put on there anyway.
well, they sure ripped her culvert up. She gonna smash down, rooted out, limestone, sandstone everywhere, clear over in the field. Took a side off of that walnut tree about 2 inches or 2 feet across, took a chunk out of it. It probably ought to be cut down or it'll be in the field and I'll have to clean it up.
We'll have to look at her. Anybody else? If not, we'll move on to reading the bill, paying the bill. Money sufficient? Motion?
motion to pay the bills, funds accepted, is available.
Second?
We need to vote.
Hmm?
We need to vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
I have a bill for $222.22 from Napa Auto Parts. The Napa ones always come in daily or whenever the guys are charging, so there was one that came in yesterday, but I already paid the bills, so I don't remember how much that one was for, so it's not included in this one. Because they do send me a monthly charge, but I try to pay them as we get the invoices in. This is for a it's for some antifreeze, diesel exhaust fluid, and a snap ring and washer. Alright. Why did I do that? Oh, and then the greater water pump, sorry. It's the greater water pump, was $197.62. Diesel exhaust fluid, I pulled the wrong invoice, and then the snap ring with washer. That was my fault. this one, I was making copies of, that's why. This one is not it, the antifreeze is not on this one. It was my fault. We have Randy's Ag Parts for $106.77. We had, and I'll just be honest with you, I'm not able to read Randy's writing most of the time, so I think this is for I don't know, it was for $7.95 for the cat litter. Again, I don't know what it was for. It looks like a glove, I'll just be honest with you, no ring is what it looks like, and it was for the cat litter. So I'm sorry, gentlemen, but I can't always read Randy's writing. You guys marked on here that it was for the cat litter.
Randy don't write real good.
This one is for a hose for the ODOT truck and 2 hydraulic fittings. It was $52.32. And then we had 5 gallons of AW32. It was $46.50. So that total bill was $106.77. We had a bill for Lowe's for $274.16. We had Firehouse, $91.24. We had shop and paper towel, shop for the shop, it was paper towels and toilet paper, and then a 25-foot tape for $67.39. We had orange paint for the roads, and then we had keys to redo the firehouse. That was $78.63. $274.16. We had Randy Moore Petroleum, was $2,354.64 for diesel, dyed, regular, and then gasoline. And our gas bill should go down because cemetery is done being, moved. So, we'll still have a little, but it will go down. It was $660.37 for the 87% octane. And that is also for the green truck as well. And I believe that you all are using the green truck if you need it when you're doing chip and seal.
Yep. Well, whenever we need to go get parts, mostly. We don't need it for chicken season.
Oh, okay, whatever.
That's just traffic control.
Okay, well, Elko Aggregate, they're giving us our bills each week. So, the bills are a little, they don't come in once a month, they come in once a week. And they put up here on the top, like this is the 4th week, September the 21st. But they're not coming immediately, so it's not like I have them the next day. And then this one is just for October 1st week. The first week, and the end of September was $1,027.94. It was for 62.88 tons, 57, and it was 29 tons, almost 30 tons, 30.57 tons of 304. And then for the first week in October, it was all 57, it was 171.73 tons, and it was 1,998.48. So the total bill was $3,026.42. And that was for chip and seal. We received, I know I haven't gotten to correspondence yet, but in order to pay this check, I need to read this letter that we received. It said, Mr. Pullins, I have hand-delivered this replacement letter to the Carthage Township office, and she communicated to me a few days ago you have not received my original letter that was mailed to the township office address. Since I sent my copy of the repair bill to you with the original letter, I had to stop by the repair shop to get another copy. The repair shop communicated the original pair was in error because they neglected to charge me sales tax. Thus, I had to pay an additional $81.46, which changed the total of the repair from $1,123.60 to $1,205.06. The body of the original letter that was mailed. This letter is in response to a phone call that I made on August the 4th regarding rocks coming from a Carthage dump truck as it was traveling west on US Route 50 around 1:30 that day. The flying rocks resulted in damage to the paint on the front end of my Lexus. My windshield experienced several chips, but there is no visible crack, so I'm willing to forego having the windshield replaced. First Quality Collision in Marietta, Ohio was not able to make the repair until last week in September. The cost of the repair was $1,205.06. A copy of the repair bill has been enclosed for your use. First Quality Collision told me that I would have to pay for the repair as they do not bill third parties. Consequently, I paid the repair bill out of my pocket. Therefore, I sincerely hope that you will keep your word to me and will cause a check in the amount of $1,205.06 from Carthage Township to be sent to me in a prompt manner as a reimbursement for this repair bill. If you have any issues or concerns, please contact me my soonest. Carl E. Pryor from Vincent, Ohio.
Well, that's one we gotta send to the insurance company. I think we should go ahead and pay it, send it to the insurance company for reimbursement.
We need a motion to pay this bill because I didn't know anything about it until we received the letter.
Eric was hauling stone and helping Troy chip and seal. Stone fell off the truck, damaged their car. And the last time I went to court over this, the judge ruled we had to pay it because we was hauling stone. But we sent the bill to the insurance company then and they paid it.
They should pay it this time. It's been several years since it happened, but it happened there several years back.
But I went to court over it one time, and it was an ex-trustee's car damaged, and the judge ruled in his favor, and we had to pay it anyway, plus the court cost.
All we do is pay and get reimbursed from the insurance.
Yeah, the insurance company will reimburse her. We'll send him a letter along with it.
You wanna do, you wanna make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we, write the check and pay the bill and get invoice typed up and sent to, our insurer for reimbursement.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
When you're hauling stone, it's pretty touchy that you got a load of stone on the truck. It's pretty touchy if you didn't do it.
Yeah, a lot of times you got a rock stuck in a tire and it flies off.
Well, rock stuck in the tire, if you ain't hauling stone, you can get by with it. But if you're hauling stone, then
And if you got a load of stone on there, it's a different story.
it's the driver's responsibility. And I did talk to the driver about it, chewed on him a little bit, told him he had to watch what he was doing.
Okay, that bill was for $1,205.06.
The insurance company will reimburse us
So
for
I
it.
will make a copy of all of this and I will send it to the insurance. That is Wendy French. She kicks it back. She may have to tell me that I'll have to send it to Vernon Flowers. Not Vernon Flowers. Yes, and it may come out of Columbus, that's where it may come out of, but I'll send it to, Wendy initially. We had a Menards bill. It was for $1,084.79. It was for a 24-inch by 20-foot culvert with a coupler for $874.97, and then we had LED bulbs. And it was LED bulbs. And it was for a 5K quad fold LED, which is a light assembly. $209.82, so it was $1,084. We have payroll, the township trustees and for myself. Mine is the same as it was $1345.65, Ransom's is the same at $857.01. Sorry. Chris Nutters is the same at $766.59. And Robert Collins is the same at $778.19. I said, the payroll is based on what our budget is. If we have an increase in our budget amount, then our budget increases, so the pay increases. If our budget goes down, then our pay goes down as well. It's based on what our budget amount is. We also had our total bill, our total outlay, excuse me, for this month was $36,552.83. We had, I had a bill for asphalt maintenance for $10,191.15. I had another one for Riley's for $64.99. Active 911, which is fire department, is $182. Napa Auto Parts was $403.08. Bombs was $739.12. That was for, I believe, the chainsaw for the fire truck, but I believe that's what that one was for. Because I don't have a breakdown on my sheet, I just have the payment listing. Then we had, what? Diamond Stone, $41.86.18, Matt Cochran Trucking, $17.89.38, Auto Plus was $34.08. We had payroll, Steve's was $889.85, Eric's was $1,006.27, Keith's was $555.40. I had another one for asphalt for $495.79. Another one for Steve for $1,092.22. Jeremiah Hogan, which was $388.32. He was the cemetery helper. Keith was $1245.54. No, I'm sorry. Keith was $482.53. I have the check for Carl Pryor. I said all of our payrolls, and then we start into the ones that I presented tonight. These are the ones that I have authorization to pay throughout the month.
Well, Jeremiah Hagan quit, so he's not laid off anymore, he quit. So if he happens to file for unemployment, we'll deny it because he quit instead of taking the layoff.
Okay, do you know when his last day was?
Last week I was on Thursday. That would've been-
So the last payroll, where he
He's
only
done.
had 1 or 2 days, that was his,
He's
that was,
done.
okay. I just wanted to make sure that he didn't work any additional past that, so.
He come in that day at noon, and I had to meet the people over on Park Road, and I told him to stay here till I got back. I had some stuff for him to do. When I got back, he was gone and he quit. Is that all, Bill?
Yes, sir.
You reading the minutes?
These were the minutes from October the 4th, 2021, and these were the minutes for the regular meeting, October the 4th, 2021, Carthage Township meeting room at 7 o'clock. In attendance was Robert L. Polans, Chris Nutter, Rance and Callaway were the trustees. Gail Buckley was the fiscal officer, and then our sheet for everyone else that was here. It says the fiscal officer was asked for the inventory for 2021, for 2020 to 2021 to be mailed to Jonathan McBride. And as I stated before, I completely forgot until I went to do my minutes. And all we have, we do not have a current inventory, and the only thing that we do have is the inventory, is the buildings that we own, or the buildings that we have as the township, and also all we have is the equipment that we currently.
Can you send me what you have?
Yes,
I
sir, I will.
appreciate it.
It says, Robert Pullins called the meeting to order with the reciting of the Pledge of Allegiance. Public speaking, Mr. San Angelo is still upset about Young Road and the progress of the road. It's been 517 days. Chris Nutter stated that he talked to the county engineer's office, that Maiden stated that he forgot about our slips on Young Road. It is the largest slip in the county. The trustees were asked if the county could help with the money to get the slip fixed. Maiden stated that if he gave the money to the township, then it would take away from his budget. Mr. Santangelo stated that the slip needs to be fixed. He is upset about the amount, I misspelled the word amount, of the side-by-sides that are on Young Road, about trash on his property and people making fires in the middle of the road. Mr. Santangelo wants to know when the trustees are going to talk to the engineer's office. Mr. Santangelo will follow up and would appreciate our ability to fix the problem. As Robert Pollins asked for the bills and a motion to pay the bills if the money is sufficient, Ransom made a motion to pay the bills, Chris seconded, all approved. All bills were paid and payroll was signed and given to the trustees and the fiscal officer. The total bills were $47,525.64. Correspondence was read and approved. Chris Nutter stated that he went to an ARPA meeting and stated that 4% could be used for anything. Old business, the chainsaw was purchased and placed on a fire truck. Brake issues and the white truck have been repaired. The knock sensor for the white 550 is still on back order, maybe around the 15th of October. The township had an employee with COVID. That person is currently back to work. New business, Sandrock property was purchased. The condition of the road from Rome Township to Lightner is good. From Lightner to the property line will take approximately 1 week to repair. Need a culvert and 2 points of access. The property owner wants to be kept informed of the road progress. Laura Babcock from EMA called and stated that money is being held from a FEMA application from 2018. Bob stated that an engineering firm will need to be hired to make repairs on the slip. The trustees and the fiscal officer were not aware that the township had been approved for the repairs. Employee business. Keith called Bob Pollins about being laid off for the winter. There was a discussion about Jeremiah Hogan being laid off as well. After discussion, the trustees made a motion to lay both cemetery workers off, and their last day would be November the 1st. Chris Nutter made a motion, Ransom seconded, and all approved. There was a rental on the firehouse of $50. There was a $25 rental fee and a $25 donation. It says the fiscal officer presented the fund balance to the trustees. She stated that the township received the second half of the real estate and the gasoline tax for September. The fiscal officer stated that the check for the settlement that was written in June hasn't been cashed by Coolville. The information was sent to the assistant prosecutor's office. According to the trustees, Coolville's attorney was holding the check, and it was given to Coolville Fire Department. Chris Nutter talked to Sean Ray about fixing Varner Road, about purchasing sealant for the road. Bob stated that the whole road needs to be chip and sealed. The trustees would like Elko Aggregate to purchase one distributor. They also said that more signs needed to go up near the stone quarry for weight and traffic. Ransom asked about the rest of the chip and seal due to rain. The road workers will drag and mow roads. Young Road needs drag. Chris Nutter made a motion to adjourn. Ransom seconded, all approved.
Any corrections or additions in this?
The only one that I had was, I still misspelled the word amount.
Motion to accept the minutes,
So moved.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Correspondence? I have here the ARP, about the ARP money. If anybody wants to read that, it's 60 pages long. I read it from one to the other. And the only thing I got out of it was like, we could use the money, as this is written right now, but somebody said they think they might change some of it for water and sewer and stuff like that. So if anybody wants to read it, all right, there it is. Do you have any correspondence?
Yeah. Jill Thompson's office. I had sent Tammy an email and did not hear anything back from her, and she sent it back to me today. She said she got a virus in her computer, and everything was going to spam. So she had to sort through her spam folder file to find the email that I had sent to her. We received, it's the enclosed, you will find a resolution accepting the amounts and rates for the Township of Carthage for the fiscal year 2022. The resolution does not include levies that will be on the November 2nd, 21 general election ballot. Please have your trustees adopt this resolution, sign and return it to our office. It says no later than October the 1st, but the date on the letter was October the 12th. It says sincerely Tammy Gigline, Executive Assistant, Athens County Auditor's Office. This is, it's the resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor. It says the Board of Township Trustees of Carthage Township, Athens County, Ohio, met in, and you mark it either regular or special session on which day, at the office of, where it will be, who is in attendance. It says resolved by the Board of Trustees of Carthage Township of Athens County, Ohio, in accordance with provision of law, has previously adopted a tax budget for the next succeeding fiscal year commencing January 1st, 2022. And whereas the Budget Commission of Athens County, Ohio has certified its actions thereon to this board, together with an estimate by the county auditor of the rate of each tax necessary to be levied by this board, and what part thereof is without, and what part is within the 10 mil limitations. Therefore it be resolved by the Board of Trustees of Carthage Township, Athens County, Ohio, that the amounts and the rates as determined by the Budget Commission in its certification be and the same are hereby accepted, and it be further resolved that there be and is hereby levied on the tax duplicate of said township the rate of each tax necessary to be levied within and without the 10 mil limitations as follows. And we have a Schedule A, which is the summary of the amounts required from general property tax approved by Budget Commission and county auditors estimated tax rates. This is for the general fund, the road and bridge fund, fire fund, road maintenance, and cemetery. They're telling us that the amount approved by Budget Commission inside 10 mil limitations, they're saying would be $71,816. It says the county auditor's estimated of tax rate to be levied inside the 10 mil limit is 2.20. The road and bridge fund, because these two are not levies, is $65,287. The inside 10 mil limit will be 2%, or 20. The fire fund, this is the amount to be derived from levies outside the 10 mil limitations. The fire fund, this is saying approximately what we'll receive. $41,136, it's 1.5, which is outside the 10 mil limit. The road maintenance is $82,199, it's 3. Cemetery is $16,440, which is 0.60. Then we have our Schedule B, which is levies outside the 10 mil limitations exclusive of debt levies. It says the fire levy. The fire levy authorized by the voters on 11/4/14 to not exceed 5 years. It says 1.5, and the county auditor's estimated yield of levy is $41,136. Road maintenance fund levy authorized by voters on 11/8/16 not to exceed 5 years is 3%, which is $82,199. The cemetery fund levies authorized by the voters on 11/8/16 to not exceed 5 years was $16,440, which is a total of $139,775. So it says that what I need a motion on, and then this is a certificate of copy, and then this is the Board of Trustees. What they will do, they will sign this and then send it back to us when they have accepted it in their commissioners meeting. So what I need you all to, I'm just gonna read it quickly. And then the information is back here, the tax revenue estimates for 2022. So they're back there. If anyone wants to take a look at it, I'll be more than happy to make a copy, and anybody that wants to take a look at it can. It says that the Carthage Township tax revenue estimates for 2022, which is the tax year 2021. It's 2.2 mils for general fund, 2.2 mils for road and bridge, 1.5 mils for fire, 3 mils for road maintenance, 0.6 mils for cemetery. The type that they are is renewal. The fire was voted on 11/5/2019, so it won't expire until 2023. Our road maintenance was voted on 11/16/2016, and our cemetery was voted, and the date's levied. So, the general fund, road and bridge. So what I need from you all is a motion to accept the resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission necessary for the tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor. So it's what I need you all to do. So, if you guys wanna look at that and decide.
I'll make the motion that we accept it.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do we have to sign this here?
No, we do not. We do not sign that. I just need that, and so, who made the motion to accept it? I know you did, who seconded? Okay, Chris, do you say yes?
Yes.
Ranson?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes. We have a levy we gotta put on next year, right?
Yes.
Or two of them.
The fire.
2016,
The fire levy expires in 14, or 24.
Yeah. We need one
So it needs to
for,
be in 23.
would be
Fire and
road
cemetery.
maintenance and cemetery for
Yeah.
next year.
I'm sorry, road maintenance and cemetery. I've never had you guys sign it, I've always signed them and sent them through, that's why I had your guys' vote as a yes. So when it's put in there, there's a certain spot in there that I will put your guys' names, Nancy Calloway, yes, Chris Nutter, yes, and Robert Pullins, yes.
Little thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we just need to renew them next year on the ballot.
Okay, we received a letter from Mr. McBride, from Mitchell McBride on Dutch Ridge Road. It was on September the 7th, 2021. It says, "Dear sirs, as time goes by, I've become more resolute in my belief that as a group you have forgotten or possibility never were aware of the laws or rules of the law that were elected to enforce and maintain. This morning on the 7th of September, I observed one of your workers doing coal patch repairs on the road I live on. They were using no type of traffic control or any type of flagging or signage that would inform other traffic of the dangers of the township truck being parked in the center of the road. This action is even more of a danger to the single worker doing the road repair with no one else even aware of his location. If he was injured by traffic or suffered some type of other injury, how long would it be before he is discovered? The Ohio Revised Code, section 4511.09 requires ODOT to adopt a manual or a uniform system of traffic control devices. In section 4511.11, the Ohio Revised Code requires that all local authorities and their respective jurisdictions and owners of private property open to public travel, place and maintain traffic control devices in conformance with the OMUTCD. You as the township trustee should review section 6C.10 and section 6C.11 of the Ohio Manual of the Uniform Traffic Control Devices, OMUTCD. This is available online at ODOT website shown below. But not following the law, you have put Carthage Township and yourself in a position of liability that would not even be excused by qualified immunity. Sincerely, Mitchell McBride, and then he gives the information down here at the bottom.
That employee is no longer with us. He knows better. He was supposed to take signs and he's supposed to run the lights on the truck when he's out there. He didn't do it, so that's one of the reasons he's no longer with us, because I caught him. I chewed on him a little bit, and probably that's the reason he quit.
Fair enough. I thought it was odd that he was out there by himself with
Well, we do that quite often. I mean,
signage.
huh?
With signage.
Yes,
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was
but
supposed
he
to have the
wasn't.
signs up.
signs and lights.
Signs are in the garage, he's supposed to take them with him,
He's
supposed to put them up, supposed to have emergency lights on, flashing on the truck,
Okay, I'm good with that.
and
That's
I'm
reasonable.
just saying, that's reasonable, yes. If you talk to him and the situation is corrected,
because I caught him on
Okay.
another road, I sent him out on the patch hole, he done the same thing.
that's okay. Cause on that road, some drunk on a four-wheeler comes by and hits him, he ain't stopping. So, fair enough, thank you, I just wanted you to be aware of it.
When it comes to safety, and that's the reason, if we're out mowing, we try to have a truck behind the mower, flashing lights on. And when we're out working on a road where there's hills, we're working on a hill, we try to have a truck stop the hill, on the bottom of the hill, the road graders out there.
Fair, that's
try to
fair answer,
practice
thank
safety,
you.
'cause I don't, he saved me from getting hurt out on Bristol Road. One day we was patching holes, we had signs up, we had lights on, and we were patching holes, and I got some cold mix, went around to patch a hole, and here come a car, he had to grab me and pull me back, the car would hit me.
And that was my point. Okay, yeah, that was a fair answer. Thank
It's a
you.
dangerous job.
It's dangerous out there.
This letter was also from Mr. McBride. This was sent on dated for October the 7th. It says, "Dear Sir and Madam, the purpose of this letter is to request information pursuant to the
You don't have to read that.
the Freedom of Information Act, and all he's requesting is, any information that you have concerning the first 2 miles of Dutch Ridge Road as it enters Carthage Township from Renewal Township, and the fence that was removed by the property owner,
Myself.
yes, as wrongly directed by the Assistant Prosecuting Attorney of Athens County, to include any information on the right-of-way and any complaints about the fence, also any information about the date of the road, also any information about the date the road was added to the county or the township road system." And that's what it was, and he said that, if we needed copy fees, he would be more than, to reimburse us for that. We received, from Workman's Comp, it is our new certification. We will not pay Workman's Comp until the very 1st of January. I've not received a bill for it, but this is just a letter of notification that your estimated annual premium or premium installment, for 2022 is, and we don't have it yet. Wanted to double check on here. It just says that your policy year begins January the 1st, 2022. Included in this letter is your certificate of coverage for the upcoming workers' compensation policy year. So, we receive a 2% discount if we pay in full, the full 12 months, rather than paying monthly, which is what we do. The premium has to be paid on or before January the 3rd, 2022. So if you have any request or change in your installment schedule, please notify them by November the 15th, about your premium installment.
So, the workers we have laid off, do they need to be notified that they're laid off?
Yes, I send them information that will have, that they are no longer with us. We have a gentleman right now, one of our workers, who is on Workman's Comp, and I just received, there's several letters that I've received, back and forth from, Ohio Workman's Comp. The MD that he's dealing with is Brent Allen Cale, and this is just information that says that, you know, what they had done in the workman's comp
How
claim.
did he get injured? Or how did he get injured?
Culvert, they was loading a culvert, and the chain come loose and hit his leg.
Hopefully he's okay.
We're hoping, we need him back to work. Bad. Anything else?
This is our general renewal. I'm not sure if I made this statement in our last meeting. I'll just be honest with you. I don't remember. This is just the renewal questionnaire that we have from Utarma. It just asks how many employees we have, fire, how many volunteers. It also asks if we do CDL, drug or alcohol tests. If we have motor vehicle records, we receive an X number of dollars back from them. I believe it's $25 per one if we go into and have those requested. And then one is a firearm supplement, which no one carries on our property. I had to fill it out and I had to send it back to Wendy at Utarma. So, and I've not heard anything from her, so I assume that all the information that she needed was in there. They have to have a copy of our disbursements and our expenditures from the last year, so, 2020. So I have to send that to her. We received our second half of our real estate tax for a mobile home, which was $1,578.36. It was, what they do is we have the real estate and then they take out a tax collection fee. So that's what we received, $446.23 from general, $405.66 from our road and bridge, $493 from chip and seal, $277.74 from fire, and $98.77 for cemetery. And then we had the tax collection fees are $38.48 for general, $34.98 for road and bridge, $42.44 for chip and seal, $19.52 for fire, and $8.50 for cemetery. So that's it. And then we received our local, it's just our local government distribution and our local government supplement for the month of October, and it was $1406.07. And that's all that is. We received the culvert that was purchased at Menards. The total bill for all of that was $874.97, and right now through Menards, you can receive an 11% rebate. And so I filled the rebate information out. It says it takes 4 to 6 weeks to receive. $96.25 is the amount that we'll receive back. And it goes on a Menards card, and you have to use it within Menards itself. And it's not like the cash they get back, but it'll be something, if you would need something, you could take the card and then use that to purchase it. We'll just make note that that's what it was. It wasn't part of our budget amount. And it just goes in when we do our, audit, that it was a rebate that was given back to us instead of, because I can't put that into the actual system, so it'll just, the invoice will just say what it was for. These are the items from Mr. McBride.
There should have been a third from me. Did you not receive it?
No,
Okay, that's fine. I'll resend it.
okay, that would, thank you very much.
No problem.
Sorry, that's. That's it for, I think, correspondence.
Okay.
Oh, no, wait, I'm sorry. I just got it in the mail today, I apologize. It is the October excise tax, which is the gasoline tax fund that we use to pay the employees and the majority of the trustees' wages. And it was $11,467.54. 5% road ratio was $1,372.79, and the permissive motor vehicle tax was $469.50. And that's what, and as I said, the check's still attached here because it was just in the mail today. So if you guys want to, take one and pass it around if you want. So that'll go in the bank tomorrow, and then those items, those amounts will be adjusted on the fund balance, which is not on the fund balance if you look on your sheet.
This not in here now?
No, that is not in there because I just got the check,
Okay.
and I can't put it in until I take it to the bank. I can, but I like to make sure that I have all the information. Bob, I had one more thing here on my correspondence. You had left this on my desk. It is for Buckley Group. It is for the FEMA money that is set aside for us for the slip on roadside car.
I'm gonna have to have a motion on that to accept them as our engineering firm.
Because I wasn't able to send this because this I tried to put it
Can't
in there
read my
like
writing?
that, and I'll be honest with you, it kicked it back and said it's not a valid.
They were
I didn't know
recommended
anything
to
else
us
about
by Mr. Maiden. He used them all the time and he says they're real good and the cheapest. So I need a motion to accept them as our engineering
Move
firm.
to accept the Buckley Group as our engineering firm.
Can,
Second.
All
would
in
you like to
favor?
read
Aye.
what this is, so if anyone's asking what it's for?
Yeah, this is just to approve them to do the engineering and the survey, engineering, and drill the test hole.
Now, did they put the bid out for contractor?
They'll do everything, yeah,
Okay.
put the bid out, they write the bid up, put it in the paper. They get a hold of the phone company, the phone line's gotta be moved temporarily, so they can get in there and bore. And yeah, they handle all that.
And if anyone's wondering, Buckley Engineering is over on Richland Avenue. That's where they were the last time I knew. Just down from the old Richland School. They're in a single building.
This email didn't work.
Yeah, I kicked it back.
That's the one that he gave me.
Maybe I didn't put it in correctly. Well, I don't know.
Well, my writing might be.
And when I'm at school, I'm not able to access the internet, and I don't have their phone number, so.
Well, let me check my paperwork after the meeting and see if I have another email address so you can send that to me.
I don't see an email on that.
No, there's no email, there's no
No.
phone number on that, and I was at school all day today, and I don't have internet, so I can't Google it when I'm at school.
I'll check in the paperwork back there and see if there's another one on there or something.
So who made the motion?
I did.
Chris seconded.
Mhm.
All in favor?
Aye.
I think that's it.
The thing of it is, on this part here, when we confirm that, they'll send us a bill, and we have to pay that bill, and we send it to Laura, and she'll reimburse us for what we pay. I think he told me it's gonna be around 41,000.
That's what it says on there.
What's on the sheet?
So, yeah.
Ouch.
Okay, old business.
Maybe.
Lightning Road is partially done, right? I mean, not Lightning Road, but,
Sand Hills off
Sand
of
Hill
Lightning.
Road is partly done.
Yes, I would say it's 75 to 80% complete. We got rained out 2 different days totally. partial third day, but it's opened up. They can travel it to get to their property, and, the landowner has been informed of such. And she was also informed that, there's some more touch-up to do, because you can't do anything with mud till it dries up, some form that you can shape it and grade it. And there was a lot of mud in there, and there's a total of 4 springs that seeps out of the hillside into that roadside. So, it was a challenge.
Any other old business? If not, we'll move on to new business. Question on, I know we laid Keith off, but for safety reasons, I'd like to bring him back till Eric gets back, so he can run the mowers, where we need him to flood traffic, or so we get caught up on the work. That's my opinion. You guys have yours. I'll listen to them.
Well, we don't know when Eric's coming back.
He had his MRI today, but he said he would keep me informed, but he had his MRI today. So.
And we definitely need a second person. So I think it'd be a good idea to ask Keith if he'd wanna come back. I know we laid him off, but I mean,
He'd be willing to come back.
I imagine would be. But we need to, can't assume nothing, we need to ask him and go from there. I've been in favor of asking him and then see what his reply is and go from there.
What's your
Yeah,
opinion?
I agree with that statement. We need, from a safety standpoint, we need someone taking care of the traffic and escorting the mowers.
I need a motion on that.
So I'll make the motion, so move to offer Keith the return position.
I'll second.
At his, you also need to put in there his current rate or whatever you're doing.
Well, that's something we'll talk about before we vote, cause let's just throw out there, what if he hits us up for another $1 on the hour? What if he wants a little bit more money?
No, we'll bring him back same pay he's getting.
Okay,
We've already had that discussion, the reason he didn't get a raise.
right,
And I explained to him, the reason he didn't get a raise was we hired him a helper. And we paid his helper $10 an hour, and that was his raise, because he couldn't do the job. So we had to hire him a helper, so he understands that.
okay, no,
And I will amend my motion to include, previous pay rate.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any other new business?
I got called several weeks ago there about the indigent burial for the, gentleman who lived over here on, Jarvis Road that was, pretty much destitute. He was living there with a friend of his. He was in poor health, had been in poor health for many years. Didn't have a car, didn't even have, any means of any money at all. So I talked back and forth. At first, the lady called me, introduced herself. She's from Wisconsin. She was a sister. And at first it sounded like a crank call. I mean, so she said, well, I've talked to the Athens County Health Department down there, and she informed me of this stuff. And I said, well, okay, give me your name, give me your number. So I called up the health department, talked to the woman she had talked to, and we had talked about some things, and then I called Kurt and talked to him about it. and seen how to proceed. So I called her back and I said, well, one thing, really the big thing we need is proof that he was a resident of the township. And she called me back and said, well, I don't really have nothing. I said, well, you're gonna come up with something. Did he vote? Was he a registered voter? Well, I think he was. I said, well, you need to investigate that and see. If you don't have any proof, then we're not gonna pay, because we cannot legally prove he was a resident of the township. So she got me the information where he was a registered voter in the township, and his address where he lived here on Jarvis Road. So part of Ohio law is Ohio will reimburse us, and on these, it was a cremation. So on engine cremation, the state will give you $1,000, and most of the funeral homes in the county are familiar with it. I know we've not done very many here. You may have been involved with one several years ago. Since I've been in, we've not done any. So I got a hold of Tim Jaggers and talked with him, and he said he would do it for $1,000. Part of the deal is the body has to be brought back to the county residence to be handled there. It can't be done. He was in the hospital up to another city, so it had to be, his body had to be brought back here and cremated. And then she has since returned to Wisconsin with him in an urn and all that. So, Tim had sent me the bill. He said there was no hurry. I know Tim personally is a good guy. No hurry on it, but Kirk said to give him the bill and he would take care of it with the state. You gotta file a paper. He's kind of familiar with it. He's done 2 or 3. You gotta file a paper with them and they reimburse you. And I believe he said just pay it out of the general fund was his instructions.
Right.
Because the general fund's unencumbered, so.
Motion to pay the bill.
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Well, actually, I saved us some money because we didn't have to put up a stone.
I was not familiar with it, so I did just a little bit of talking and research on it. I know you'd said several years ago, maybe 12 or 15, that there had been somebody in the township that was in certain situations, so similar situation. But at any rate, I got the bill and all this stuff here, so.
Do you happen to have the sheet of paper from the state, or is it something?
No, but I can get it. I can get
No,
it.
that's okay,
I
I
got
just
it
didn't know,
saved.
is it something?
I got it saved at home on my computer. The state does have a website where you can get on and do it. Kirk said he would be happy to do it, so it's up to you if you want me to get you the website and you wanna try to tackle that yourself, or he said he's done it for other townships, he'd be more than happy to do it for us.
Okay,
It's your call on that.
if the Kirk would like to do that, I'll be more than happy to let him take care of that.
I wasn't familiar with it, and before I wanted to commit to the lady, I wanted to find out the full story on it, and he and I talked, and it's something that not a lot of people deal with, but it does happen on occasion, and the person really pretty much has to be destitute, you know.
Well, the last one we had was, we almost had to pay for, but the woman said he had no family. This was his neighbor woman that contacted me. Not this guy, but there's another.
Mm-hmm.
Well, come to find out, he had a brother that lived in Texas. So his brother had to pay for it because he did have living kin to pay for the funeral. So we got out of that one. So, that's a touchy situation right there. You gotta really watch.
Well, I've read about it before. I never personally dealt with it, and the lady called me up, and like I said, at first it didn't sound legit, so I had to do some checking, and the hardest part was, I mean, he was on his deathbed and she was all emotionally tore up, and I had to ask her, I said, I hate to, but you gotta give me proof he was a resident of the township or it's a no deal. So that was the only thing, cause he lived there with his friends for free, cause he's in bad shape, and the only thing he had was voter registration with an address, so no bills,
So do you guys wanna make that in form of a motion that I send all this information to the assistant prosecuting attorney's office and let them handle it? After the check is,
We can do that.
We can do that.
I mean, since he's done it before and he's done it for other, I think it would be
He said he would handle
beneficial if he would take care of that, since he knows all of the information.
So moved. I will make the motion to send the information to Kirk. He's aware of it, because I spoke with him there a few weeks ago about it, so, he'll be expecting it.
Okay, so I just need to contact him and find out, I just go ahead and make the check and send it to Jaggers, and then they'll reimburse, then he'll take care of all the information.
That should
I'll
be
just-
it.
I'll-
That was how he
I'll
explained
send
to me.
him, I'll send him an email and ask him what all he wants from us, if he wants proof of the check and all that, I'm sure he
That
has to
was
have it.
how he explained how it would work to me, and that was also what the lady at the, health department said also.
Second the motion.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any more new business?
I think I'm good tonight.
Okay, I got one piece. Proposal from Twin Oaks Refrigeration Heating and Cooling. To install a 240 volt tankless water heater, washing machine in the firehouse, for the washing machine in the firehouse. Also install a wash sink next to the washing machine. Do all the electric, drain for the sink, run the water lines, from over the furnace. Total cost for this work will be $2,177.
We have a sink, right?
We do, and he's been informed of that,
Okay.
so he's just gonna install it.
Okay. Well, you guys need that to wash your uniforms in, so you have a chemical spill or something out there.
It's needed, it's,
Motion to accept. Motion for the bill.
I move to accept the proposal from Twin Oaks Refrigeration, as I previously stated.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okey-dokey.
You guys need anything else? Anything on your list that you guys
Right
need?
now, I'm just waiting for the stuff to come in, I've already ordered.
The stabilizer bars haven't come in yet, or stabilizer?
I'm still waiting for the parts for the lifter.
Anything else, new business?
We wanna talk about the dump truck.
Well, that piece of dynamite.
It's not too
We
bad.
have no idea what happened to it. He backed down to dump the gravel on the road, it died, started up. And it died again, it started up, and just run for a little bit, quit, now it won't fire at all. It just,
Well, it's had this electrical gremlin issue off and on for a while now. We took it up there to the international shop, and it wouldn't do it up there for them, of course. You know, it wouldn't do it when it was up there. It sat up there a week and a half, wouldn't do it at all. As soon as we brought it home, it did it a few days later. So, maybe now, whatever it is finally went bad, and it might be like fuel shut off solenoid or something. Maybe it's finally went bad. I don't know if we ought to drag it back here, try to work on something, troubleshoot a little bit, or we just ought to haul it to the international shop. 'Cause
we're
they
gonna
hook it
have
up
to drag
the-
it back here anyway and unload it.
It's my opinion that we need to bring it back here first.
Mhm.
It's got probably 75% load of stone sitting on it,
Mm.
so it's
We're
heavy.
gonna have to unload it somehow.
Yeah,
So I propose we bring it back here and then make a decision.
yeah.
Do we wanna haul a record and bring it back here, or what do you wanna do? I don't know how safe it would be trying to tow it.
Not a good idea with load of stone on it. Empty, still maybe not such a good idea with load of stone on
Well,
it.
you're talking a record, probably gonna be around $1,000, maybe $1,200.
Judging on what Curtis charged to bring a 1 ton in, yeah, 1,000 plus.
Well, we can try to shop around too. We can call Valley and we can try another place or two. Gary's out to Barlow.
You,
See if anybody do it any cheaper. but I feel we probably ought to tow it in since it's got a load of stone on it.
Yes.
If it was empty, we'd probably put it behind the grader, it would have enough stopping force and it would be heavy enough to handle it empty, but loaded,
You wanna
It's-
call
it's-
around and find a record?
I can do that in the morning.
I mean, I wanna do it the safest way to get it.
Oh, yeah, what do you estimate, 2.5, 3 miles from out there to here? Where's that on Lightner exactly?
It's not on right now.
It's on.
It's right off of Bethany, right at Henderson intersection.
Henderson intersection right there, okay. So that's
It's
2 mile,
2.5 to 3.
We got so many hills.
yeah, yeah.
That-
They'll let me call in the morning, if it didn't have a load of stone, I'll be a little different story.
I'll put that for a motion.
I'll put that in form of motion, I'll call in the morning and try to find the cheapest heavy haul record we can get to haul the breakdown truck back here to the shop.
We're gonna haul back here and take it to International, or we're gonna try to see if we can figure out what's wrong with it.
Well, let's try to troubleshoot it first. I know up there they can hook the computer to it and do more than we can do here. Our skill set's somewhat limited when it comes to computers on trucks, so you can only do what you can do.
Mechanical, we're not too bad. Electrical,
Yeah, electronic, and this electrical issue's been hit or miss now for a little while on it, and we've tried in good faith to get it fixed, and it wouldn't do it when it was at the shop, which of course that would happen, so I'll say if we can't figure it out here, then let's haul it to Marietta and take it to the international shop.
I had that in the motion.
that's your motion, second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Anything else? If not, motion to close the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all for coming, appreciate it.